In July 2011, Anna and I flew to Taba in Egypt to start our trip through Israel and Jordan. This slideshow just covers Israel. The second one will cover Jordan. Taba is a huge airport in the middle of the desert. There's absolutely nothing to be seen in any direction. They put us on a bus and took us to the Tulip Resort. The resort again is in the middle of nowhere, near the sea, but it has lovely swimming pools and pleasant accommodation. Anna organised for the all-inclusive package, which covered drinks. We like to drink wine, and they gave us wine in about 1 milliliter each time. Obviously they catered to Russians, because if you had vodka, you got a glassful. The resort is on the Gulf of Aqaba, and the sunset was spectacular over the water. Dinner proved interesting. I kept on going and getting glasses of wine, which we gradually topped up to make a decent glass. They eventually stopped us. Sunrise the next morning was spectacular as well. It was clearly the intention of somebody to make this a resort area because lots of new development was underway. This is Pharaoh's Island. I don't know why it's called that. We drove a long way through the desert to Eilat. We saw where plastic bags come from. They grow on trees in Egypt. Crossing the border at Eilat was a trial. The Israeli border guards are not nice. These are our first sights of Jerusalem. The most notable thing was the fence, or the wall. The Dome of the Rock dominates the Temple Mount. This sight would definitely warm Andrew Barr's heart. At this point we were driving in the bus towards our hotel in Bethlehem. Is it any wonder the Palestinians feel unwanted? On their own land. This was our first glimpse of the Western Wall, or the Wailing Wall, but we probably didn't realise. The Golden Dome is nothing if not impressive. This is the famous El-aqsa Mosque. The holiest place to be buried is in a cemetery on the Mount of Olives. Jewish people leave stones on the graves as a sign of respect. The more stones, the more respect. This is the Garden of Gethsemane, famous for the Last Supper. Positioned at the base of the Mount of Olives, the garden faces the old city of Jerusalem. The word Gethsemane means oil press, and the garden is home to a collection of 23 olive trees. The oldest tree in the garden has been carbon dated to 1092, a date almost coincidental to the first of the Crusades. This is the Church of all nations. It enshrines a section of bedrock where Jesus prayed before his arrest. The Golden Gate has been sealed since 1541. This Eastern Orthodox church is the Church of Mary Magdalene. The column is a tribute to Polish soldiers in World War II. This nasty plant is what they made the crown of thorns out of. The wall is highly visible from the Mount of Olives. The Jerusalem Intercultural Centre. The Church of Domitian was built in the early 1900s over the site where Mary Magdalene died. The Zion Gate is one of the 7 gates in Old Jerusalem. This is the Herva synagogue. Our pilot was required to pray. The menorah is the official emblem of the State of Israel. Another look at the El-aqsa mosque. The long view to the Mount of Olives. Security was quite strict as you entered the Wailing Wall. Women and men are separated by a fence. They seem to like fences in Israel. There is a significant library underneath the Wailing Wall where Orthodox Jews study. Men were given a loan of a yarmulke before entering the Wailing Wall site. We now proceeded to follow the Stations of the Cross. The Via della Rosa was the route that Christ took, forced by Roman soldiers. We are about to enter the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the site of Christ's execution and burial. This is Christ's tomb. I was able to go inside. I got into trouble for taking photographs. These are nails from Christ's cross. This is the Jaffa Gate. This is the Church of the Nativity, where Christ was born. It's on the West Bank and in Palestine behind the wall. This is the Milk Grotto, where Mary was protecting Jesus. A drop of her milk fell on the floor and the white walls became white. This police bike is just like Anna's scooter Oscar. We are heading down to the Chapel of the Manger. This holy site blesses anything that touches it. We are looking at the altar in the Church of the Nativity. The Mosque of Omar is directly opposite the Church of the Nativity. Here is the Chapel of St. Catherine in the Church of the Nativity. We have moved on to Nazareth and the Church of the Annunciation. The church is on the site where the angel Gabriel visited Mary and told her she was going to have the Lord's Son. Countries all over the world have contributed these mosaics. You can have a private tour if you pay for it. This mosaic was contributed by Australia. The Church of St. Joseph is where Joseph had his carpentry workshop. The Church of Jesus as an Adolescent. This is inside the Cana wedding church. A couple of couples recommitted their vows at this place. This is the Church of Nathaniel St Bartholomew. We have arrived in Galilee, at the Church of the Primacy of St Peter. This is the outside of the Mensa Christi Church. This is the Church of the Primacy of St Peter. The Sea of Galilee. Capernaum. Anna with St Peter. Here we are looking at the original floor of St Peter's house. The ruins of ancient Capernaum. This is in St Peter's Church in Capernaum. We are about to enter the Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fishes. Now we head to the site of the Sermon on the Mount. Unsurprisingly, this is called the Church of the Beatitudes, looking across the Sea of Galilee to the Golan Heights. It's quite possible that the Syrians have guns up there sighted on Israel. Not far away is the site where John baptized Jesus. For some shekels, you can get yourself baptized here. We figured we were baptized enough.